Forget million-dollar supercars. The true unicorns of American automotive history weigh 80,000 pounds and run on pure diesel. Today we are exposing the 10 rarest and most legendary semi-trucks ever built. Machines so exclusive that even truckers with 40 years on the highway swear they do not exist. You might think you know classic big rigs, but I guarantee these forgotten titans will shock you. You absolutely must watch until the very end, because our number one spot is a holy grail truck with only 261 units ever produced. It is a literal phantom of the highway. Before we fire up these massive engines, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell, and comment below, what is your dream truck? Starting our countdown at number 10 is the quintessential American highway icon, the Peterbilt 359. When you picture a classic long-nose conventional truck roaring down Route 66, you are likely picturing a 359. Introduced in 1967, it instantly became the gold standard for owner-operators who wanted serious power wrapped in a stunning, heavily chromed package. With its distinctive dual exhaust stacks, large grille, and unmistakable aluminum cab, it was not just a commercial vehicle. It was a rolling statement of absolute independence for the men and women who drove them across the country. Under the hood, the 359 offered a canvas for pure diesel power. It was designed to accommodate the largest engines of the era, frequently housing massive Caterpillar, Cummins, or Detroit diesel blocks. These powerhouses allowed the truck to comfortably pull standard legal loads of 80,000 pounds of gross combination weight. These machines could confidently cruise at over 70 miles per hour on the open interstate. The 359 featured the iconic 1100 series cab from 1972 onwards, offering better visibility and comfort for those grueling cross-country, long-haul journeys. Back in the 1970s, a well-equipped Peterbilt 359 was a serious financial investment for an independent driver. Today, its historical value has absolutely skyrocketed. A fully restored show-quality 359 can easily command upwards of $150,000 at specialized collector auctions like Mecum, proving that true classic style never depreciates. While the 359 is a true American icon, its biggest corporate rival was brewing a massive storm of its own on the highways, and that legendary competitor is up next. Are you ready to see it? Coming in at number 9 is the legendary Kenworth W900A. If the Peterbilt was the king of custom, the W900A was the undisputed movie star of the highways. Earning eternal fame in pop culture through iconic movies like Smokey and the Bandit, the W900A featured a majestic, imposing grille and a luxurious interior. The W stands for Worthington, one of the original founders of the company. It was the ultimate dream machine for truckers who wanted to ride in absolute comfort while looking incredibly sharp on the road. Produced from 1967 until 1982, the A model is distinguished by its flat glass windshield, classic round headlights, and a highly durable torsion bar suspension. Mechanically, it was a fortress of reliability, frequently equipped with legendary mechanical big cam Cummins engines pushing around 400 horsepower. This setup allowed it to easily handle standard 80,000-pound payloads while maintaining cruising speeds of roughly 65 to 70 miles per hour, effortlessly conquering the steep mountain grades of the American West without ever breaking a sweat or losing momentum. This brings us to the ultimate trucking debate. Are you Team Peterbilt or Team Kenworth? Let me know in the comments right now. The historic rivalry between these two conventional giants is the stuff of legend. While a new W900A was a working man's tool decades ago, today, an immaculate survivor can cross the auction block for well over $120,000. But what happens when you step away from the big two brands? Get ready to meet a tough, forgotten highway star from the 1970s. At number 8, we have the international harvester Transstar 4300. Unlike the heavily customized show trucks we just discussed, the Transstar 4300 was the absolute fleet king turned classic. Introduced in 1971, it was square, aggressive, and all about the business of freight. When the interstate highway system was rapidly expanding across America, This was the truck that carried the heavy load, representing the gritty, hard-working backbone of the nation's logistics industry. It was not built to win beauty contests, it was built to move America forward safely and efficiently. The 4300 featured a massive, broad-shouldered hood specifically designed to accommodate the absolute largest big-bore diesels of the era, including massive V8 engines. Built on a rugged steel frame, it routinely hauled payloads of 73,000 to 80,000 pounds, cruising comfortably at 60 miles per hour. It was known for a no-nonsense cab that prioritized basic function and durability over luxury. Despite being produced in massive numbers during its prime, the brutal high-mileage life of a fleet truck means that surviving examples are rare. Decades ago, these heavy-duty internationals were just tools of the trade, regularly written off and sent to the scrapyard when they finally wore out. Today, nostalgia has driven their value up significantly among true historical purists. Finding a clean, original Transstar 4300 is incredibly rare, and dedicated collectors will happily pay a premium, often upwards of $50,000 to $70,000, to own this slice of Americana. Speaking of forgotten heroes, our next classic truck comes from a legendary brand that does not even exist anymore. Rolling in at number 7 is the White Road Boss. The White Motor Company was once an absolute titan of American commercial manufacturing, and the Road Boss, officially introduced in 1976, was their conventional masterpiece. With its highly distinctive massive front grille and classic sweeping hood curves, the Road Boss had a unique visual identity that stood out instantly in a sea of generic square fleet trucks. It offered independent drivers a touch of personalized style backed by a historic nameplate that commanded immediate respect on the asphalt. This truck was highly customizable straight from the factory, allowing buyers to spec it with various heavy-duty drivetrains depending on the job. Equipped with Cummins or Caterpillar engines, it easily pulled legal weights of 80,000 pounds at highway speeds of 65 miles per hour. It was a versatile workhorse serving in everything from long-haul freight to heavy construction. Sadly, severe financial troubles led to the bankruptcy of the White Motor Company in 1980, effectively ending the lineage of the Road Boss and cementing its orphan brand classic status. Because the parent company went under and was later absorbed by Volvo, original replacement parts became incredibly scarce, and many Road Bosses were sent to the crusher. Therefore, a surviving, fully restored White Road Boss is a breathtakingly rare auction find today. What was once a standard rig can now fetch double its original value among niche historical commercial collectors. Now, let us cross the ocean for a moment to look at a powerful European monster that became an absolute unicorn on American soil. Taking the number 6 spot is a true anomaly on our list, the Scania 143M. While cabover engines were common in America decades ago, the European-designed Scania 143M, part of their famous 3 Series, is an entirely different breed of beast. In Europe, it won the prestigious International Truck of the Year award in 1989 and was crowned the undisputed King of the Road. But in the United States, spotting one is like finding a needle in a haystack due to strict import laws. The heart of the 143M is its legendary 14-liter V8 engine. Pushing out an impressive 500 horsepower, it delivered a distinct deep rumble and incredible torque. In Europe, it regularly hauled massive loads of up to 97,000 pounds, effortlessly cruising at restricted speeds of 55 miles per hour. The cab was famously comfortable, prioritizing advanced ergonomics long before it became an industry standard in the States. It represents the absolute pinnacle of European truck engineering from the late 1980s and 90s. While a Scania 143M is a beloved classic across Europe, its extreme rarity in the US makes it a highly exotic and coveted import. Collectors who manage to bring one stateside, navigate the complex import laws, and make it road legal possess a truly unique machine. At international auctions, a well-maintained V8 can easily sell for over $80,000. If you thought that European import was unique, wait until you see the indestructible American bulldog that comes up next on our countdown. At number 5, we travel back in time to the legendary Mack B61. If there is one truck that defines the word indestructible in the English dictionary, it is this one. Introduced in 1953, the B model series, with the B61 being the most famous and widely used, featured iconic sweeping round fenders and a classic narrow cab that is instantly recognizable to anyone who loves vintage machinery. It was not the fastest truck on the road, but it was undoubtedly the toughest rig ever built. The secret to its legendary status was the highly innovative Mack Thermodyne diesel engine. Producing roughly 170 horsepower, it hauled typical weights of around 60,000 pounds. With top speeds of only 50 to 55 miles per hour, it was slow, but paired with Mack's own bulletproof transmissions, it simply refused to die. Over 47,000 of these specific models were built. They constructed highways, dams, and cities, operating in the harshest conditions imaginable with absolute reliability until production finally ended in 1966. Today, the Mack B61 is arguably the most popular platform for vintage truck restoration in America. While they were incredibly common and affordable decades ago, a fully restored B61, whether it is kept historically accurate or turned into a modernized resto mod, can command auction prices well over $100,000 today. The B61 was a reliable, slow-moving workhorse, but a couple of decades later, Mack decided to build an absolute muscle truck. Are you ready to hear the roar of a V8? Roaring into number 4 is the mighty Mack Superliner. Introduced in 1977 as the RW series, this was Mack's magnum opus. It was a massive, aggressive conventional truck designed specifically to tackle the grueling, high-speed, heavy-haul routes of the West Coast. It was Mack's direct answer to the owner-operator market that demanded both extreme power and bold, head-turning styling. The Superliner threw out the rulebook, combining the classic Mack toughness with an intimidating stance that demanded respect in every truck stop across the nation. What makes the Superliner truly legendary is what sat beneath its massive hood, the legendary Mack E9V8 engine. This massive twin-turbocharged power plant pushed out a staggering 500 horsepower. This allowed it to easily haul special permit loads exceeding 100,000 pounds, powering up steep grades at 65 miles per hour with ease. The sound of a straight-piped E9V8 under heavy load is considered pure mechanical music. It was quite literally an American muscle car in the body of a Class 8 semi-truck. Here is a quick challenge for you. If you have ever been lucky enough to see a Mack Superliner rolling down the highway in the wild, drop a comment below right now with the state and the year you spotted it. Because of their massive engines, original Superliners are fiercely hoarded by collectors today, with pristine examples fetching upwards of $130,000 at auction. The Superliner is a beast, but our next rig is a rugged survivor from the Great White North. Securing the number 3 spot is the Transstar 4900. Born from a tough heritage of severe-duty logging and mining operations in British Columbia, Canada, the early classic models of the 4900 are the absolute epitome of rugged survival. They feature classic square-jawed styling, a massive cooling package, and a reputation for handling horrific abuse that would utterly destroy lesser trucks. They were not just trucks, they were industrial-grade survival tools built to conquer the absolute worst roads on the North American continent. Each Transstar was essentially custom-built to the buyer's exact specifications right on the assembly line. They featured heavily reinforced steel cabs and frames. Often equipped with high-horsepower Caterpillar or Cummins engines, they hauled massive timber loads weighing up to 120,000 pounds. Despite pulling extreme weights on muddy mountain logging roads, they could still hit 60 to 65 miles per hour once they reached paved highways. They proved that traditional heavy-duty engineering never goes out of style. Because they were almost exclusively used in the most punishing work environments on Earth, finding an older classic 4900 from the 70s or 80s that has not been beaten to pieces is exceptionally rare. Today, enthusiasts value these trucks for their raw, unfiltered durability and custom-built survivors often see auction values well past the $100,000 mark. We are down to our final two. Prepare yourself for a truck so incredibly exclusive, it was entirely hand-built for a very lucky elite few. At number 2, we have the incredibly elusive Marmon 57P. Known throughout the trucking industry as the Rolls-Royce of trucks, the Marmon 57P was the ultimate status symbol for an elite owner-operator. The Marmon Motor Company did not mass-produce their trucks on robotic assembly lines. They hand-built every single one in Garland, Texas, catering only to drivers who demanded absolute perfection, supreme luxury, and total exclusivity. Owning a Marmon meant you had reached the absolute peak of the independent trucking profession. The 57P featured an exclusive aluminum and fiberglass cab, luxurious custom interiors with real wood accents, and top-tier heavy-duty drivetrains. They typically weighed around 16,000 pounds completely empty, but were certified to easily haul the standard 80,000 pounds gross weight at cruising speeds of 70 miles per hour. Production numbers were astonishingly low, often fewer than 100 trucks built in an entire year across all models. The craftsmanship was unmatched, making spotting a Marmon a breathtakingly rare event even in their prime. Because Marmon officially closed its doors in 1997, the 57P has achieved mythical status among truckers. If you own a Marmon today, you own a piece of handmade American history. When these rare Texas beauties do appear at auction, they are fiercely contested, with prices easily soaring between $150,000 to $200,000. The Marmon is incredibly rare, but it absolutely pales in comparison to our number one spot, a truck so elusive it is considered the absolute holy grail. Finally, at number 1, the rarest and most legendary semi-truck of all time, the Dodge Bighorn. This truck is the undisputed holy grail of heavy-duty commercial vehicles. Introduced in 1973 as the CNT 900 series, it was designed to be Dodge's flagship long-haul tractor. It featured a massive, imposing fiberglass tilt hood, crowned by a giant exclusive chrome ram ornament. It was breathtakingly aggressive and ready to take over the market, demanding attention wherever it rolled. The Bighorn was fully capable of running with the best, equipped with Cummins engines that pulled the standard legal limit of 80,000 pounds down the interstate at a steady 65 miles per hour. However, the timing could not have been worse. Shortly after its introduction, Dodge made the sudden corporate decision to completely pull out of the heavy truck market. As a result, the Bighorn was only produced for a painfully short window from 1973 to 1975. The total number of Dodge Bighorns ever built in history? A strictly documented 261 units. It vanished before it even had a chance to conquer the highways. Today, historians estimate that fewer than 100 Dodge Bighorns still exist on the planet. To own one is to own the ultimate trucking unicorn. They are almost never sold publicly, but when one crosses the auction block, it is an international event, easily rocketing past $250,000. From the classic Peterbilt 359 to the impossibly rare Dodge Bighorn, these 10 legendary semi-trucks represent the absolute golden era of American trucking history. They are rolling pieces of art that command immense respect and top dollar at auctions today. Which of these legendary big rigs is your absolute favorite? Drop a comment below right now. If you enjoyed this highly detailed journey through trucking history, smash that subscribe button, like the video, and keep on trucking. See you in the next one.